So today we're going to be talking about breathings, Iota subscript, and finally diphthongs. So to kick things off, let's talk about breathings in ancient Greek. Let me just write that here. So breathings. Breathings are basically markings above the first letter of a word, but only if the first letter is a vowel, and that is crucial. So a breathing only is written above the first letter of a word if that letter is a vowel. So ostensibly they look like markings, and there are two types of breathings. You have a rough breathing, and you have a smooth breathing. So first I'll just tell you what they look like. So a rough breathing looks like this. Let's say our first letter is alpha. This is a rough breathing right there. A smooth breathing is just that but reversed. So if that's our first letter, alpha, and it's a vowel, a smooth breathing is like that, okay? So I'll just repeat. Rough breathing looks like that. Smooth breathing looks like that. Okay. So now I'll say what they actually mean. So rough breathing effectively means that it is pronounced with an H in front of it. So with a rough breathing, the alpha, here with a rough breathing would be pronounced ha. While with a smooth breathing, you don't have that H, so it would just be pronounced ah. So the difference between a rough breathing and a smooth breathing lies in pronunciation, basically. That's the only difference, but it is key. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about are diphthongs. So, diphthongs. Okay, so diphthongs are basically when two vowels merge to make a new sound. And there are many different types of diphthongs in Greek. I'll just write down the most common. So you have alpha and iota coming together to make an I sound, like in the word, lie. Then you have alpha and upsilon coming together to make an ow sound, such as, literally ow, like, ow, that hurt. Next we have epsilon and iota coming together to make an A sound, like in the word lay, that A sound. Then we have epsilon and upsilon coming together to make a U sound. Yeah. Some people like to pronounce them separately, actually, like AU. Some people like to say AU, while others like to merge the two vowels to make U. It's up to you. The difference is just pronunciation. After U, we have this combination of omicron and iota, which makes the sound oi. And finally, we have this combination, omicron and upsilon, coming together to make an oo sound. So an example of that might be pool. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is Iota subscript. So this sounds daunting, but actually it's very simple. When an iota comes after a long vowel, so I'll just write that here. When iota comes after long vowel, okay, it is written underneath the vowel. and I'll just show you what I mean by that. But first I want to just tell you all the vowels that count as long. So the long vowels are the following. So long vowels are long alpha, eta, and finally omega. And so, if iota comes after any of these vowels, it will be written underneath that vowel. So, for example, R. So here you see that is the iota subscript. Let me just highlight that. Oops. Yeah. So that there is the iota subscript. And some people like to kind of incorporate the iota subscript into their pronunciation of the word. So, for example, long alpha with iota subscript might sound like a kind of the iota subscript might kind of alter the sound a bit, while other people actually like to ignore the iota subscript in their pronunciation, and instead it would simply sound like a long alpha. So it would just sound R and no kind of I at the end. So I'll just write the next few. So I, and then here's the iota subscript underneath there, and finally O. So if you wanted to, I'll just actually highlight these. So again, here's the iota subscript, and finally here's the iota subscript. So somebody might like to pronounce that A, or they might simply like to pronounce it air, depending on whether they want to incorporate it or not. And then finally with the omega, somebody might like to pronounce it or just normally, or incorporating the iota subscript by saying it something like this. Oi. It's really just a matter of preference.